Hello, everyone. I'm back. We are live again. And today I have Business Studies Cambridge A2. I am supposed to finish the chapter today that we started 2 days back. If you don't remember, we started chapter 21, which was globalization and international marketing. So we need to finish that chapter. Um, we will wait for our students to join and then we can start the chapter. Again, it's a very exciting chapter, as you can see from the pictures. I have some great examples. I have some important concepts to teach today, and that's how we'll take it forward. You can like our page, Fyruz Education Services, on Facebook. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fyruz Education Services. Again, um, we have a lot of educational videos out there. You can also send me friend request, as I also live stream all our classes in my personal page as well. So yeah, let's do this. Let's wait 20-30 seconds. Let's wait for some more students to join, and then we can start. The internet connection seems fine. The sound seems okay, so everything is perfect. Let me just check and see. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. So on the left-hand side here, we have a Rolex. Okay, Rolex is a luxurious watchmaker. I'm sure most of you know it's a luxury brand. Now, Rolex, if you buy Rolex in America, if you buy Rolex in Thailand, if you buy Rolex in Africa, if you buy Rolex from Bangladesh, there are some retailers that sells Rolex. It's the same. The product is the same everywhere. Okay, there is no difference wherever you buy it from. Okay, iPhone, or any Samsung smartphone, whether you buy it from India or Bangladesh or Finland or America, Malaysia, Russia, you name any country, the product will be the same. Coke, there we go, Coke. Wherever I buy it from, the taste, the logo, the can, everything is the same. Whether I buy it from, let's say, New Zealand, or whether I buy it from Bangladesh, everything will be the same. Okay, so yes, there may be some differences. So that is known as standardized goods. Standardized goods means all the product will remain the same. It will not change. It'll look the same. It'll function the same way. Costs may be the same. Okay, so that is standardization of goods. And standardization of goods is possible because we rely heavily on machines. Now, if you make something by hand, let's say if you make this t-shirt by hand, it is not going to be accurate. It is not going to be accurate 100%. But if I make it using machines, it will be the same. So standardized goods are provided everywhere in the world. Okay, you don't have to change it according to different countries. And standardized goods are available because of the internet, because of television, because we are aware of these brands. I remember when I was growing up, the internet was not so vast, internet was not so powerful. We didn't have any idea of these brands like Apple or Rolex or Prada, Gucci. Because of the communication system, because of the transport system, we are better connected, better aware of the global world. And therefore, you can sell items without changing it. Okay? Because people are better aware of the product. So that is known as standardized goods. And of course, when you make the same goods, you will enjoy economies of scale. Now, economies of scale means when you produce goods in a higher quantity, you enjoy lower costs of unit. And we will talk about economies of scale. I will give you an example. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that more. Then look at this product. Everybody will recognize it. It's Nike shoes, sports shoes. Now, if you buy it from America or if you buy it from UK, it's going to be the same. Now, we talked about Rolex and iPhone. These are more luxurious brand. Okay. So most of the time, luxurious brands are always the same wherever you sell it. Okay. Globally, it is the same. Even products like shoes, Nike shoes, it is the same. Nike, Converse, whether you buy it from America, whether you buy it from UK, whether you buy it from Malaysia, it remains the same, right? Of course, you're buying a Nike shoes. You don't want it to be different. You want it to be the same. You want everybody to recognize that you are wearing a Nike or you are wearing a Converse shoes. Okay, so that's the thing, because you're wearing something branded and you want people to know about it. So there you go. Um, for example, I'm a huge fan of Converse shoes. When I used to do my A levels, I always wore a Converse shoes, and I still have some of them. And this is a special edition, Scooby Doo special edition that they took out 6 months back. And you can get this edition everywhere. They launched it globally. They launched it globally, right? And this method of releasing the same product everywhere, releasing the same product everywhere is known as, if you look here, down here, it's known as pan global marketing. Adopting a standardized product that looks the same, that feels the same, that works in the same way, that has the same functionality, and it's released in the same way, as if the world was just one single market, one whole market. They don't take considerations of cultural differences, religion differences. No, they assume that the market is just one, and they release it in that way. And nowadays it is possible because we are better connected with the world, because of internet, because of TV, right? Because of transport and communication. You can do this. You can release the product without changing it. But if you go back 20 years, if you go back 20 years from now, that wasn't possible. It is not possible. It was never possible at that point of time. But now, since we are more aware globally, you can produce a product, release a product without changing it, and that is known as pan global marketing strategy. Releasing a standardized product across the globe. If the entire world was just one single market and you sell the same goods everywhere, so so it does not take into regional differences. It does not take into culture, fashion, taste differences, and the lines are being blurred. It is becoming less obvious because people have also become very welcoming. Yes, everyone cares about all kind of religion. Everyone cares about all kind of culture. Yes, we have become more welcoming, we are more aware, so it's fine, right? So there you go. And it happens, usually it happens with luxurious product where they don't change it. And even the customer base don't want to change, don't want any change from luxurious products, because they want it to look the same way and they want people to recognize that. And it also happens with brands like Nikes, like Zara, or like Converse. Okay, so there you go, right? Yeah, so that's pan global marketing strategy. Let's go ahead. So what are the advantages? The first advantage is that, look at this keyword. This is the keyword. It forms a common identity. It forms a consumer recognition. I can look at this and I can say this is a Converse shoe. I can look at this and I can say, with the logo here, the swoosh logo, I can recognize that it's a Nike shoe. Okay, I can look at this dial and I can look at this logo and I can say that this is a Rolex, or I can look at the design and say this is an iPhone, right? So it's easily recognizable. Consumers can recognize it instantly. It forms a common brand identity. And this is possible nowadays, I told you, because of TV channels, because of internet, because of transport. So worlds are better connected with each other. Now, that's the first advantage, a common brand identity, consumer recognition. The second is cost reduction. Now, when you make products in huge quantities, your cost comes down. How? I'll show you an example. For example, let's say you're making 100 t-shirts. Let's say you're making 100 t-shirts. Okay. So, yeah. So 100 t-shirts and okay, there is a mistake. So let's say you're making 200 t-shirts, 200 quantity, there you go. And per piece is 100. Okay, per piece is 100. So that is 20,000, 20,000 taka. Now, if you make 200 t-shirts again, okay, um, I made a mistake here. Just give me a minute. 100. Just give me a minute. 100 t-shirts. Okay, 200. Okay, we're done. Sorry about that. 14,000. Okay, we are back. So I have to share my screen again. Slideshow play. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I had a small mistake on the slide. Sorry about that, but we're back. So now if you have 100 t-shirts, there you go, 100 quantity, and you sell it at 100 price per unit, 100 taka per unit. Okay, it's 10,000. Now, if you make 200 t-shirts, okay, into 70, not 40, 70, okay, it'll be 14,000 taka. Let's say the price per unit has come down because you're making more. Now, why will the price come down? Because it is assumed that costs remain the same. Rent will remain the same. Labor rates will remain the same. Electricity rates will remain the same. Whether you make 100 t-shirts or whether you make 200 t-shirts, the costs will remain the same. The only thing that may change is cost of raw materials. Okay, that's the only thing that may change. I made a mistake again. It's going to be 70. It's going to be 70. So from 100 taka per unit, it'll come down to 70 because most of your costs are the same. What is going to change is your raw materials. So that is economies of scale. When you produce more, so instead of making 100 t-shirts, you're making 200 t-shirts. So when you produce more, your most of the costs remain the same. Okay, and that's why you can make it in a less price. So now you can make 200 t-shirts in just 14,000 taka, right? So that is the explanation that I had for economies of scale. So when you do pan global marketing strategy, your cost, there will be a reduction in cost. Okay, so think about it. So it'll form a common identity, a common brand identity, a common consumer recognition. Okay, and then second, you can enjoy economies of scale. And I've showed you how you can enjoy economies of scale. Okay, so there you go. But however, the disadvantage is that uh, it does not consider uh, personal factors, because people will be different from different country to country, from different region to region. Okay, so Islam is different, Hinduism is different, Christianity is different. Mentality of people in Bangladesh is different. Mentality of people in India or China or Russia is different. So you're not considering that factor. Okay, so there are differences. So you're not taking that point of differentiation into account. So think about that. There also may be legal restrictions how things work out in different countries in terms of advertisement, in terms of marketing. Okay, so think about that, right? Yeah. So these are the two disadvantages. Two advantages are it forms a common brand identity. It forms a common brand identity, a common recognition, consumer recognition. Second, you will enjoy economies of scale because for the whole world, you're making just one product. There are no changes. So your costs will be less per unit. Okay. And we have given you an example. Okay. But the disadvantage is that there are differences, so you're not taking the differences into account. Second, there may be different kind of legal restrictions in different countries. So think about that, right? For example, let's have a look. We have two cars. Now, out here on the left, this is a Nissan X Trail. Now, Nissan X Trail is sold in the Asian market. Okay, Nissan X Trail is sold in the Asian market. Okay, the name is different. The price is different. Now, the same car is sold in the American market by the name of Nissan Rogue. See, so it is different. The same car, but the name is different. Probably they've done a research. Probably Americans does not like the name X Trail. Probably it means something else in their culture. So it is marketed as Nissan Rogue in the US market. And the price also varies because their income per head is different. Now, in Bangladesh, the average income per person may be 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 per person per month. But then that is different in America. It may be $2,000, $3,000. So how can you keep the same price? You can't keep the same price. So there needs to be some kind of change. There needs to be some kind of change. And how are you going to do that? Same cars marketed in different ways. Okay, so there we go. So the disadvantages of pan global marketing strategy is it is not always transferable in languages. As I give you an example of Nissan Rogue and Nissan X Trail. Let's say in Bangla, something may mean completely different, but when you translate it into Chinese, it may mean something offensive. So you have to be careful. We've talked about this. You may sell beef burgers in America, but you can't sell beef burgers in India. You can sell, pork in America, but you can't sell pork in Bangladesh because it's an Islamic state. Okay. So you have to think about that. And you cannot also set the same price because the income per head is different in different countries. So you have to think about that, right? So these are the disadvantages that we have talked about. So there is a school of there are a different set of people who thinks that religious, you have to keep in mind about the religious consideration, about the cultural part of a country. You have to think about the consumer requirements of that country. Okay. So not always standardization is possible. So standardization is not possible always. So you have to change it a little bit. Okay, so this is also known as localization, where you cannot sell the same product everywhere. I gave you an example of Nissan X-Trail and Nissan Rogue, where they have changed the name, where they have changed the price, and even some features are different for the Asian markets and for the American market. Okay, so this kind of approach is known as localization. Okay, you think about the people, you think about the religion, you think about the culture, right? Now, this method is called global localization. Sorry, this method is known as localization, as I told you. So yeah, there we go. So you have pan global marketing that we have spoken about. The first one, pan global marketing. There we go. That is pan global marketing, selling one product across all nations. Pan global marketing. And then you have global localization, where you change the product a little bit. okay, where you change the product a little bit. Global localization, there you go, where you change the product according to religion, according to the country, according to culture. Okay, so yeah, for example, think about McDonald's. McDonald's is an American fast food chain, and look at their advertisement. It said truly Indian burgers. Look at the subtitle. Look at this heading: made with hand-picked ingredients from across India. What are they trying to do? They are trying to be an Indian brand, because Indians, they have a culture of not using foreign brands. So when foreign brands go to India, what they do is they become like a local company, because India has a history of not using foreign products. Okay, they had a movement called the Swadeshi movement, where they will make their own products and use. This is why when foreign companies, foreign brands enter India, they go for global localization and they try and become an Indian brand. It looks very Indian, right? And it's also written made with hand-picked ingredients from across India. So think about that. Okay. Then KFC's ad, look at this curry crunch. Curry is not an American concept, it's an Asian concept, South Asian concept. And they've invented the chicken fry, which has a curry flavor. So they are trying to Indianize the brand. Okay, so this is global localization. Look at this Amazon.in, made for India. Amazon has been there in India for the longest time. And I know a lot of people who once thought in Bangladesh or in this side, who once thought Amazon was an Indian company, because the way they depict themselves, it's very interesting. Even if you look at their ad in India, it's like, they talk about Diwali, they talk about their culture. Yes, it's about the relationship between a family, and that's very South Asian culture. And they have adopted that when they came to India, because Indians, they don't they're not so much for foreign goods. That's down deep in their history. So when foreign brands enter India, what they do is they become like a local company. They follow global localization instead of pan global marketing. Global localization, they change their brand according to the taste, according to religion, according to culture. Okay, so it's quite interesting. So that is global localization, friends. There you go. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to type it down here. Or we can also you can also send me in the group chat that we have here. You can also message me if you want. So thinking global, you think globally, but you act globally. And I've given you examples, great examples of Amazon, KFC, and McDonald's. And it's also called the Maharaja Mac. Maharaja is not an English word. It's an Indian word, Maharaja. So yeah, very interesting. So there we go. So price levels may change, menus may change. They will adapt the product according to the regional taste, according to religion, according to culture. Advertisements will consist of local people, local ethnic people. Okay, they will consider local needs, tastes, cultures. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And they will also fulfill local national legal requirements, and there will be less opposition. Okay. I can give an example. For example, Apple went to India, and what I've been reading from reports, Apple is very less successful in India because they have not adopted global localization, because Apple has a very different way of doing things, and they said that they don't want to change who they are, and that was not actually liked by the Indian community, right? So they're kind of behind in the Indian market. So yeah, but however, there are some disadvantages. We've talked about the advantages. The limitations are the scope for economies of scale is reduced, Now, you cannot make one product for everyone. Every product is going to be different according to different country, different region, different religion, different customer preferences, and that may increase your cost. That may be time consuming. Yes, so it will you will not enjoy economies of scale. Okay, and you may lose your brand identity, you may lose yourself. Every brand has their own way of doing things, and if you're changing yourself, that's not a good thing, is it? Okay, and there will be additional cost, because when you're trying to be different everywhere, you will have additional marketing cost, store layout cost. You have to think about specific local needs. So these are the limitations of global localization. Okay, so think about that. So we are done with the chapter. We started with pan global marketing strategy. Okay, one product for everyone. I've given you examples of Nike, I've given you examples of Converse, Rolex, or iPhone. One product for the whole country. The company will treat the whole world as one big market, and that is known as pan global marketing strategy. Pan means whole. Okay, the good thing is you will have a common identity. You will enjoy economies of scale because you're making one product for everyone. Reduce costs. I've spoken about economies of scale. Okay, if you make 100 t-shirts, it'll be 100 taka per unit, 10,000 taka. If you make 200 t-shirts, it'll be 70. I made a mistake here, 70. So it'll be 14,000 taka. So from 100, it's 70 because it's reduced by 30 taka, because costs remains the same. Rent will be the same, labor will be the same, electricity bills will be the same. Just cost of raw materials may be different. That's the one thing that may change. Okay, that's the only one thing that may change. Now, একটা ক্লাসরুমে আমি যদি 5 জনকে পড়াই বা 20 জনকে পড়াই, my costs will be the same, whether I teach 5 of them or whether I teach 20 of them. But if I teach 20 of them, my costs will be reduced because I have to pay the same electricity, same rent, same hard work, same labor, right? Okay, let's go ahead, revision. But then disadvantages is that people are different in different regions, so there may be a conflict. You may not be able to sell the same product. Okay, legal restrictions may vary, rules may vary. Okay, I've given you an example of X-Trail. X-Trail in the Asian market is called Nissan X-Trail. Price is different. In America, it's known as Nissan Rogue in the US market. And the price is also different because the income levels per head is different in the Asian market and the US market. Price will be different. Tastes are different. Okay. So we've talked about it. Okay. And then comes when you want to change, because people are different in different regions. When you want to change the product, that is known as global localization. So we have two concepts: pan global, one product for everyone, and global localization, where you change the product a little bit, okay, according to the taste of the consumer. And brands like McDonald's do it, brands like KFC do it, brands like Amazon, they do it all the time. Okay. So yeah, we've talked about that, benefits and limitations, right? Some differences are given out here. Benefits and limitations of exporting directly, benefits and limitations exporting indirectly, and benefits and limitations of foreign subsidiaries. Please read it. I will email you all the slides. So there you go. Some key terms are also here. Please have a look, right? We've ended the chapter. It was a great class. Thank you very much. If you haven't understood anything, please do not hesitate to comment on the comment section, and I will answer to all your questions. Please like our Facebook page, Fyruz Education Services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fyruz Education Services again. I will see you in the next class. Thank you very much.